Thank you for presenting the Faculty Teaching Award, and congratulations again to all the winners and nominees. But I also wanted to take a moment to thank those behind the scenes that support our faculty, starting from the faculty assistants who help with the course management, to the MBA operations team, led by Sven and Vicky, and the entire degree program team, led by Katie. Please help me give them a round of applause for their support as well. Now we come to the Student Council address, and they are, as a Student Council, responsible for a lot of the good things that happen on your journey as 22Ds. It is my pleasure to call Holly, Joanne, and Douglas to the stage to give your Student Council address. Please help me welcome them on stage.
We have the privilege of speaking to you all today on behalf of the entire Student Council. Now, as a group, we discussed bringing up the whole group on stage, but we all agreed it was way too much of a liability to have Leroy up here. It's an honor to be here, not just to represent the Student Council, but the class of 22D. Almost 12 months ago, many of you were arriving here in Singapore, figuring out how you can build a strong community despite not being allowed to gather in groups of more than 5. Meanwhile, many of us were arriving in Fontainebleau, where we, for the first month, refused to gather in groups of less than 50. Those of us who started in Fonte are still so impressed by how close the Singy starters were able to become despite the restrictions in place. I'm told it required a lot of officially unconnected but very carefully coordinated group bookings and a newfound love of boats. Even more impressive that you managed to execute this and raise less local concerns than the networking sessions, parties in the various shared houses of Fonte. What I've realized recently are that days like today are all about the confluence of the past, present, and future. We are simultaneously reflecting on the year we've had, trying to savor these last moments here together, and excitedly anticipating the next chapters that this year has prepared us for, both professionally and personally. So first, to look back. The incredible year we've had, we have a lot of people to thank for making it possible, and bear with me if some of these are repeats from earlier. Dean Mihov, Dean Pear, Mr. Kruger, thank you for all that you do, and for being here to celebrate with us today. Along with Dean Pear, thank you to Katie and the entire degree program team, from Sven and the MBA office, to Rhoda and the CDC team, to Katja and the ever-resilient Student Life team. We truly appreciate all the support that you pour into the MBA program, especially with all the changes and challenges that the last couple of years have brought. Thank you to faculty and teaching staff for always enlightening us, often entertaining us, and at times putting up with us, even when we didn't make it easy. Thank you to the various campus services and support staff that kept us well-read, fed, and hydrated, and kept our spaces safe, working, and clean. I want to give a special shout-out to security's uncanny ability to always be ready and waiting the moment you finished a sip of water or a bite of food, with a friendly tap on the glass window of the bar to remind you to pull your mask up. Thank you to the family and friends who traveled to join us here today, who are watching on the live stream or later recording at home, or who supported us in any way throughout the journey to INSEAD or the journey at INSEAD. This especially includes partners who were in Fonte or Singy sharing the experience with us, and it definitely includes campus babies, including Itsuki, Cora, Amelie, and of course everyone's favorite dog, Marley. We could not have done it without all of you. Beyond the visible work of the Student Council, a few of us worked on other initiatives behind the scenes to push for an even more diverse and inclusive community here. 2022 saw some important progress on anti-harassment and women's safety that will have a lasting impact beyond this year. And I would be remiss not to thank the 22J Student Council for paving the way on this, to Katie and Katja for your allyship and guidance, to the 23J Student Council for engaging on carrying this topic forward, and to everyone in 22D who supported these efforts. Thank you. Thank you to club leaders, section reps, and anyone that stepped up to help with an event or initiative, big or small. From a very important inaugural climate summit, to a lively Lebanese week, to even the delicious tiramisu at Italian night. You all played a huge part in making this year even more vibrant. And of course to you, the class of 22D. Together, we achieved so much. We figured out the routes to the Singapore campus that involved the least amount of time outside in the Singapore humidity. We navigated PLDP sessions where groupmates compared you to things like lightning bolts, Microsoft Word documents, or blue streaks. And we mastered stopping just enough on campus not to offend anyone, but still make it to class on time. At least after we realized every class started 2 minutes late. Sorry, Urs. So class of 22D, thank you.
So now for the present. I want to take a moment to celebrate this incredibly special day and appreciate how far we've come since the start of the program. And I don't just mean the Fonty lifers who finally joined us in Singapore. I'd like to think you all to think back to December the 16th, 2021, the situation that you were in then, and the kinds of questions you were asking yourself. To come to INSEAD, we've all taken breaks from big careers and building families. We didn't know it then, but we were about to become the final COVID class of the 2020 pandemic, and life would soon be spelled LYF. I believe the true magic happens when you're outside your comfort zone, and INSEAD leaves no room for comfort. Through the past year of formal and informal education, we have been tested, we have been stretched, and ultimately this experience has pushed us all to change. But the moments that have brought this change are unique for all of us. Perhaps the biggest moment for you was when you packed your suitcase and took that one-way ticket onto a plane into the unknown at the start of the year. Or perhaps it was the challenges you faced in the classroom, battling assignments with your study group mates and finding a topic that inspires you. Who knew that NFTs for eye care would be the next big thing? Perhaps you've been truly tested in your pursuit of a dream job or by the highs and lows of a grueling interview process. Or perhaps it was that moment you realized you might not want to take that job at Twitter HQ after all. Or maybe you learned most from your classmates, in the corridors and halls of campus, or during late-night adventures in the cities of Singapore and Paris, or maybe on those now legendary trips to Cambodia, Teen, and Venice. One thing is true for all of us. We've been thrown into a new environment and found our way on our own this year. No two people's journey at INSEAD is the same. So if you haven't already, ask the people around you what challenges they've overcome and what they're taking out into the world. You'd be surprised what you learn. And I can guarantee you it goes beyond the benefits of techno over reggaeton. Today we stand on the threshold of re-entering the grown-up world and our soon-to-be big lives again. Whatever drove the change in you, the power of the INSEAD experience lies in the lessons and the friendships you take out into the world. I believe every one of us can say that we are so lucky to have been part of the class of 22D. One thing's for certain, life after INSEAD won't look quite like it did in January 2022.
And change has been inevitable. It encouraged continuous learning, hard work, and internal reflection, all aspects we have been very fortunate to experiment this year. I truly believe that the student body and the faculty members should be very proud of the transformation all of us accomplished. Nobody can do this alone. With their support, we face these changes with optimism, squeezing every minute to acquire the necessary skills for our future jobs and at the same time having fun or exploring the world. Together, we belong. This is one of the INSEAD trademarks. For the past few months, we have belonged to each other, and we will probably do forever. We may not have a glass of wine at Lenclaw, but we will have a friend to hug all over the world. We may not have both parties in Singapore, but we will have a friend, but we will have memories that will bring us a sincere smile. We may not have a multicultural dinner in Fontainebleau Chateaus, but we will always see the world with an open mind. It's not about how far we've come, it's about how far we'll go. New cities, new jobs, new challenges that we'll face with new academic and human skills. But if there is one thing worth taking away from our INSEAD MBA, it is that we will not take no from Ansel, building a better world in which no race, no gender, or no background are discriminated. Staying together, the power of community will help us to go further in our common goals. We will take action, be bold, and keep in touch. Borrowing the words of our founder, Georges Doriot, the world without actions would still be an idea. And one of the most important parts in this speech, I'm going to kindly ask the rest of the members of the Student Council to stand up. Natalie Becken, Joaquin Fratzen, Hilary Ye, Ameya Talanki, Sanilla Mohapatra, Leroy Tong, and three people that cannot be here today, Sriya Venkataranan, Curtis Graham, and Sebastian Benchea. These people worked countless hours to make this year even more special to all of us. Dear class of 22D, dear classmates, on behalf of all the members of the Student Council, congratulations on earning your MBA. We wish you all the very best in your next endeavors. It has been a true honor to serve, and it will always be. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Holly, Joan, and Douglas, for your Student Council address. And it is now my great pleasure to introduce the valedictorian speaker for your class and call Matthias van Meert to the stage, please. Matthias.